9440.
4405.
944405.
Welcome to Calhoun County's Most Wanted. I'm John Garlick. I'm the only host today, but I'm glad you're with us. We have a great show lined up for you, and you guys worked really hard last week. Let's just go right to the count real quick. I think we had 6 arrested, and that's going to bring us to 3,402 people arrested because of the citizens of Calhoun County caring enough to pick up a phone and call Crime Stoppers and call in a tip so that we can go out there and bring people to justice. That's what this show's all about, helping you take charge and be a responsible citizen in making Calhoun County a safer place. So talking about safety, it's Memorial Day coming up, and guess what? It's the Memorial Day Blitz, the Click It or Ticket campaign, running now till the 31st of May. So we want to make sure that you're aware so that you know that all of the law enforcement in Calhoun County is going to be out there. We're going to be hyper vigilant, making sure people are wearing their seatbelts and driving safely. A lot of people go out on these 3-day weekends, they have a little bit to eat and a little bit to drink, and then they get behind the wheel. That's not a good thing. We want you to be safe, have a good time, so we're going to be out there trying to keep everybody safe, and the innocent people on the road too that are not drinking and driving. We don't want any drinking and driving. But that's this weekend. That's all the way now to the end of May, so be alert. We'll be alert. And right now we're going to take another break, and we'll be back with some really interesting information for you. So stay with us on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Your word is rigmarole.
Can you define it?
A long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, Jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
a crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a rich like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost.
But now I am
sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston with Family Links, and this is the Family Tip of the Week. What is a happy family? What does it look like? In counseling, I often hear people say, I just want to be happy and I want my family to be happy. But what does that really mean? I'm sure the answer is different for all of us, but what helps to create happy relationships and strong family ties? What are some things happy families do differently? In my working with hundreds of families, some key things that I've observed from happy families are, number 1, they use caring words to communicate, always. Be careful what you say. You can say something unkind in less than 1 second, but more than a year later, the wounds are still there. Don't do this to your family, or anyone for that matter. Every time words are spoken, something is created. Be honest, but also conscious of what you say and how you say it. Use words that build up, appreciate, encourage, and inspire. Number 2, family members go out of their way for one another. Family bonds are tied with true love, and true love involves attention, awareness, discipline, effort, and being able to care about someone and sacrifice for them continuously in countless little ways every day. You put your arms around family members and love them regardless, even when they're not very lovable. And of course, they do the same for you. And number 3, lastly, everyone takes responsibility for their own happiness. Happiness is a choice that comes from within. Being happy doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means you've decided to look beyond the imperfections. There are choices you can make every day to feel the effects of happiness. Choose to do something meaningful. Choose to take care of your body. Choose to be around the right people. Choose a good attitude. Choose to express gratitude. Choose to forgive. And choose to focus on what you have, not on what you haven't. Begin today by taking responsibility for your own happiness. The choice is yours. Your family can support you, but they can't choose happiness for you. And remember, if you want to know what a healthy family is, it's one where each family member wakes up every morning and says, "This is worth it. You all are worth it. I'm happy you're in my life." It's about sacrifice. It's about knowing that some days you'll have to do things you dislike to make the people you love smile, and feeling perfectly delighted to do so. And that's what I've observed to define happy families. For more tips like this, please call Family Links at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, Anton Russell. Mr. Russell, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear for unlawful distribution of a controlled substance. And this is Terry Proctor. Mr. Proctor, last known to be living in Piedmont, he's wanted for a probation violation on distribution of a controlled substance. And take a look at Dennis Tippins. Mr. Tippins, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on assault second. And we'd like you to meet Tia Caldwell. Miss Caldwell, last known to be living in Oxford, she's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property first. And here is David Pledger. Mr. Pledger, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession and receipt of a controlled substance and selling drug paraphernalia. And take a look at Michael Anderson. Mr. Anderson, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession and receipt of a controlled substance ×2 and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And last up for our first half of our lineup, Dexter Ball. Mr. Ball, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession and receipt of a controlled substance. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Well, we hope you saw somebody in the lineup that you may know or may know where they are. We hope you'll call Crime Stoppers with that information. Right now, we're going to talk about some other kind of information. With me here is my guest, Susan Carter, with 211.
Right.
Not to be confused with 411 or all the other 11s that are out there. So tell me a little bit about, or a lot about, 211.
Well, I like to tell folks that when they get their toe stuck in the bathtub, you need to dial 911. But if you need information on health and human services in Calhoun County, all you need to do is dial 211. And we have a large resource library where we have all kinds of information on basically every human need that there is.
That's a lot of human needs.
It is. It really is.
So if I get my toe stuck in my bathtub,
dial 911.
Not a plumber.
Well, 911
But
first.
if I wanted a plumber, would I call 211?
No, that would be 411.
That would be 411. See, I'm already confused.
Right. We're your information referral service for basic human needs. So if you have a need where you perhaps have had reduced time at work and you can't pay your monthly bills, so maybe a utility bill is due, you could call 211 and we would look in our resource library and we would see who would be helping with that need at that time. Or perhaps maybe you've suffered some kind of traumatic loss in your family. Maybe you've lost a dear loved one and you're just having a little trouble getting over that, and maybe you need a grief support group. You could dial 211 and we would have information on where those support groups meet, the times, the places, and what you need to do to get in touch with them.
So it all goes back to Maslow's hierarchy of human needs.
Yes.
You guys are there for the basic food, shelter, and clothing kind of thing.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. And so is 211 located in Calhoun County? Or?
Well, we are funded through United Way of East Central Alabama, and we're also funded through United Way of Etowah County. And so we actually have a 7-county service area. We're physically located in Etowah County, but we serve Etowah, Cherokee, Clay, Cleburne, Randolph, and Talladega County.
That's a lot of information.
It is.
And it's all on books on a bookshelf.
No, it's not. We have a resource library, but our resource library is actually an electronic database. And the really nice thing about this is that we're connected to 9 other call centers throughout the state. So 100% of Alabama is connected for 211 services. We're also 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. So no matter where you are in the state, what information that I go out and data mine in Calhoun County or Cleburne, Randolph, Talladega, whichever county, I'm going to put that into our resource library, into our electronic database. And then when we close our office at 4:30 in the afternoon and go home, then our after-hours call centers can look at my information, and then they can give those referrals when people call 211, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, even if it's a holiday or a weekend. We have somebody there to answer that phone.
So that's great. So if say you're an adult child,
yes.
And your parent is in their 90s,
right,
and maybe they've got the beginning stages of Alzheimer's and they're forgetful, and
sure.
maybe they're not remembering to go to the grocery store so much, and you're doing the best you can to help them, but your schedule is tight, so you can call 211 and you guys would kind of put them in the right direction.
Right, find out what resources would be available for perhaps transportation for people who are senior citizens, or if they maybe need a home delivered meal. So, you could call us and we would give you the information where you would go to get that information or to sign up for that meal. Also would be if you needed caregivers, we could give you some resources that we would have in that if it's time to bring in maybe a home visitation program or something.
So do you get calls that maybe should be going to law enforcement and you refer, like, for example, somebody from out of state has been talking to their their elderly parent and is concerned that maybe the caregiver there is taking advantage of them.
Right.
They might call 211 and say,
right.
I've got a case of maybe some elder abuse, and then you would refer them to...
Well, every call to 211 is a confidential phone call.
Mm-hmm.
However, we are mandatory reporters. So if there is an example of a child abuse, or we think that someone may be in danger, then we're definitely going to get that information to someone that can help that family. Because, a call to law enforcement isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No, it can be a very good
actually
thing.
be a great thing. But so whether it's Department of Human Resources, and best case scenario is they get some help that they haven't had in the home and they just didn't know about how to go about accessing that help. So we are mandatory reporters. If we feel like someone is in danger, we're definitely going to do what we need to do to get them to a safe place.
Excellent. Well, calling law enforcement is important too, and I do a lot of information referrals, so maybe I'll start referring to 211.
I hope you do that.
Right now we're going to take a break, and when we get back we're going to talk about some of 211's role in emergencies. So stay with us on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was
Homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost. But now I am sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Your word is rigmarole,
Can you define it?
a long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Erika Bailey. Miss Bailey, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property. Second. And meet Whitney Snyder. Miss Snyder, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of receipt of a controlled substance ×2 and failure to appear on manufacturing paraphernalia. And this is Robert Wellington. Mr. Wellington, last known to be living in Huntsville. He's wanted for failure to appear on domestic violence ×3, harassment. And take a look at Terry Teague. Mr. Teague, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to pay on theft of property ×3. And this is Angela Ledbetter. Miss Ledbetter, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to pay child support, the face of a deadbeat mom. And last up in our, oh, never mind, this isn't last up. This is Angela Kite. Miss Kite, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for contributing to a child being in need of supervision. And now we're at the last up of our lineup, Mr. Joseph Davis. Mr. Davis, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for domestic violence ×3, assault. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of any of these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414. Welcome back. We hope you got a look at the second half of our lineup, and maybe you saw somebody there, so you call. We'll haul. Right now we're talking with Susan Carter from 211, right. The information lady.
Right.
You know, I remember growing up, we had 411. In fact, I'm so old, we didn't even have 911 when I was growing up, but 411 was a big deal.
Right.
And we'd call and it was all free, and now, of course, it's not free.
No, it's not.
But when did 211 come into the picture?
Yeah, how did that happen?
How did that happen?
Well, the federal, FCC, the Federal Communications, realized that citizens of our country needed an easy way to access information. You know, it can be a maze, because you know that there's people who help, but is it the Calhoun County this or the Northeast Alabama that? Or does American Red Cross, they help with disaster, but do they also help with power bills? So, you know, it's really confusing, especially if you're entering into the social needs arena for, you know, the first time, or you've moved to a new community. You just don't know the names of things. So they realized the importance of giving people an easy way. So while they were handing out 111 numbers, the N11 numbers, they said that 211 would be the number that you would access Health and Human Services. 411 is for your pizza delivery or for your local pharmacy. We don't keep that kind of information, but we do keep information on Health and Human Services.
So, and when, about what year did all that kind of take place?
Well, the birthplace of 211 was actually Atlanta, Georgia. And so they began offering 211 services there. It has slowly over the years, since the late 90s, grown over the United States. In 2006, United Ways of Alabama really worked hard to bring 211. We had 211 in Montgomery since 2003, but that was one place in the whole state that was actually had the 211 services. Now we're very proud to say, after a lot of hard work, that we have 100% coverage of our state. So, you know, that's the nice thing you were talking about. If someone needed information, say you live in Mobile, but your aunt lives in Tuscaloosa, and she needs that home delivered meal, or she needs some kind of services. Well, you could dial 211. As long as you have where she lives, we can look up the information for anywhere in the state because we're all connected into one resource library.
And that's amazing and very useful. And I suspect that a lot of our viewers probably have heard 211 and really didn't know much about it.
Right.
And even in the service industry, in law enforcement, and working with the service agencies I work for, we have for years always wanted JSU interns to go out and gather, who are the agencies that help in this and that. And there's these little books that we put out, and we always sit there and bemoan how we don't have that information anymore, and gee, we need to get JSU interns working on it. And it was this year in a meeting where somebody said, well, we should just be calling 211. I'm like, well, yeah, we should.
Yes.
So you guys need to be on a lot of boards, too.
We do. We're nonprofits, so we don't have a lot of money for advertising. But in our area, in our 7-county service area, we took over 10,000 calls last year and gave out over 16,000 referrals. So some folks are finding us. But yes, we would love for more people to know about 211. It breaks my heart to think that there's a family that doesn't have food or, doesn't have some of the needs, the basic needs that they need simply because they didn't know how to access that service. So we hope that, and we appreciate you letting us come today and talk about this, to let folks know.
Calhoun County is loaded with services.
Yes.
Some of them are redundant, sure, but that's okay.
That's all right.
And it's accessing those, and I know those agencies are always screaming for numbers and how do we reach more people.
Right.
And so this is a wonderful tool for everybody. You're just gathering people's information. We don't even know it. It's like,
exactly.
211 knows who we are. How
That's
does that
exactly
happen?
right. We do that. And so it works two-way. If you have a community organization or a church that has a food pantry and you want to be included in a resource library, you just call us at 211 and we'll be glad to. We're also available on your phone, so if you want to download or upload, whatever you call that, from your Android or from your iPhone, so if you're a service field worker and you need that information at your fingertips, or if you're just an everyday citizen, you can upload that information. Just go to your marketplace on your phone and look for 211 Connects Alabama.
The store, 211 Connects Alabama, or you can ask Siri for that.
Yes.
Siri, find me 211.
There you go.
And she'll take you there with a snide comment or two, I'm sure.
211 has also been found to be a very beneficial tool for local EMAs and law enforcement and even statewide Emergency Operations Center in Clanton. So if we're predicting to have some really severe weather and there's some tornado shelters that are opening up, a lot of times you'll hear dial 211 for more information. So someone who doesn't have a safe place to weather out a storm, severe outbreak like we had back in 2011, then they can call 211 and we'll have information on where they can go to do some severe weather sheltering.
So in the event of a major emergency, we set up at the Emergency Operations Center in Jacksonville at the EMA.
Yes.
Would you have a representative there to kind of fill a logistics role for us?
We will try our best to have someone there. Covering 7 counties, it might be a little difficult to do, especially if it's a large outbreak like we had in 2011. But thank goodness for technology. But we are kind of the link between the local responders, the EMA, the emergency management, getting information that they want to give out to the citizens. And then 211 is also a real good that we can report back as, you know what, we don't have a shelter in this area, or we've got calls coming in from this area, non-emergency, that's saying that they have this kind of need.
Well, so information flows upwards and downwards.
Exactly.
In case of an emergency, or even if your big toe is stuck in your tub. You can find some information at 211. So that's it. We thank you for being on the show today, and I hope everybody out there can remember 211.
That's right.
Stay tuned with us. We'll be right back with our crazy criminal.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford for the best cars and best price.
Big news for homebuyers searching through all those complicated mortgage options. AOD Federal Credit Union is now offering new, out-of-the-box mortgage solutions. Mortgage loan manager Jamie Bailey will help find the best rates and quickest approval for you. Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, Jumbo, HARP, and more. Call Jamie Bailey at 256-241-8218. Out-of-the-box mortgage services. Reason number 4 that you belong with AOD Federal Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
For emergency and non-emergency medical transportation, you can count on Anniston EMS.
Hello, I'm Johnny Warren with Anniston EMS, and we appreciate the opportunity to provide support for the Calhoun County's Most Wanted program. And I would like to remind everyone out there that if they need any medical transportation needs, please don't hesitate to call us.
Call Anniston EMS at 256-237-8572.
Your word is rigmarole.
Can you define it?
A long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was
Homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost. But now I am sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to put your deer stalkers on and help our investigators with these cases. First up on your caseload, between May 5th and May 11th, this storage building, located on Angel Drive in Jacksonville, was broken into. They got away with a Craftsman toolbox and assorted tools and 2 steel chainsaws. And sometime between May 4th and May 8th, this storage building, located on Thompson Road in Ohatchee, was broken into. They got away with a lawnmower and a weed eater. Last up on your caseload, between May 6th and May 12th, this residence on Mud Street was broken into. They got away with a firearm and some jewelry. That's it for your Crime Stoppers caseload. If you know anything about these cases, and we hope you do, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414. Remember, we just want your information, not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Well, welcome back. We hope you saw something in the cases that went by that you'd call us on. We need your help on some of those cases. We get a lot of calls on the head count, but we don't get a lot of calls on the cases, so we hope you work on that. So let's talk about crazy criminals. I was thinking about what I needed to do for a crazy criminal, and with the Memorial Day Blitz and the holiday weekend coming up and people maybe over-beveraging themselves, it reminded me of some people I've dealt with that were drinking and driving, but not necessarily the vehicles you might think. We've dealt with a guy who was driving his lawnmower, a little garden tractor, holiday weekend, he's drinking some beers, decides he needs to go to the store and get more. So he doesn't want to get in his car. He gets on the road with his little Sears lawnmower, driving down the road. Don't do that. Those aren't really motor vehicles, and if you're drinking and driving that, it's still a DUI. Had to explain that to a guy riding a horse, too. Drink and ride your horse down the road. The horse may be able to get you home, but you might fall off and hurt yourself. So remember, Memorial Day Blitz from now until the end of the month. Click it or ticket. Don't drink and drive. Be very, very safe, because we want everybody to enjoy this Memorial Day weekend. And remember that it is a Memorial Day, and we want to give thanks to those folks who have given their all to give us all our freedoms. And that's it for the show this week. We hope to see you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.